everybody, and welcome to the commentary video for the Impractical Gamer episode 1.
Welcome.
So there's a lot to talk about here. I have a lot of things to discuss
Now, my name
in
is John.
getting this
and
series even
many
started,
of you know,
getting this
I'm a fan of
episode
video games.
started,
I'm
getting
sure
it edited, and getting
you
everything
can
with it. There was a
obviously
lot of
see
things that
But
went
that's
right
not what I'm
and
here
went
today.
wrong along the way.
what I'm here today is that
So to
I,
start
like
off
you,
with the
love
overall,
video
like where I
games
came up with
quite
the
a bit,
concept for this series.
and
It
you know,
was
after
back in
time, you get
2014. It was like around June or so,
you play-
and I was thinking up
play
just
the same
different
game
video
over and over.
ideas to do
You
because I didn't want to do the standard
100
let's
times. You know, after
play
that
and keep
80th
going on with what I
time,
was
you
doing in that
get a bit
direction.
tired of it, and
I just
you
wanted to
kinda
do something a
challenge
bit
yourself
different,
with these games.
just for
So,
fun.
that is what
And I
Impractical
thought of
Gamer
this
is.
series and another
I'm
one.
going to be doing
And this one I thought
video
was
game
really interesting. Like
challenges.
that there was a lot of ideas
You know,
you
I
could
could
really do with
simple video
this,
game
with
challenges. You know, there
kind
are
of absurd
hundreds
video
of
game
to
challenges.
pick from. You have
So I started
Ocarina
thinking
Time,
of different
3 Hearts,
ideas and
Mega
things.
Man, Buster
And I
only,
believe it
Final
was in
Fantasy,
August
no
I actually
leveling up,
filmed the first
using
episode
only
of
one
it,
party
which
member,
did not go
no
well.
using
It
summons. Like,
started
there are
and
hundreds of challenges
halfway
to
through
do.
I just
And
gave
that is
up.
why
It wasn't
today,
working
For
right.
the first episode,
So
of the
flash
pilot,
forward to
I'm starting off
2015
very, very
and
light
I do another
with
attempt at it.
Super Mario Maker.
And this time I finished it and actually it was pretty good. But complications came up. My hard drive died,
Now,
and
you can
mid-recording my camera went out of
I've
focus,
played my fair share.
and
of
audio
games.
bleeding with
No,
the
like I
game
said, I'm
audio and my
actually
mic
pretty good,
happened,
too.
and
Like,
it pretty much
yeah,
was
pretty decent Mario 3
like
player.
nothing. I couldn't use any of the footage, and even in editing, if I went and did all the audio stuff with it, it still wouldn't have fixed it. So I had to can that one. And finally, in November of 2015, I was able to film the version you were saying now.
But enough about that. The challenge
And
for
as you
today,
can see, of course,
episode
by this
1
date,
pilot.
It
is
took a
going to
long
be-
time to edit this, which
I'm
is
going
kind
to be
of
playing
weird
Mario
because this
Maker.
isn't even
I'm
that
going
like
to create a
crazy
stage.
editing, just that it's been
While I'm
sitting
blindfolded,
on my computer for months.
I cannot see the screen at all.
Like a
while
lot of
I'm
things
making
actually
the
happened with
level.
this episode, getting into it. Like this
And
intro
I must
originally,
beat
this
the
was the
level.
first
But, you
take,
know,
as you
it
can
would be
obviously
all right
tell. Like I
there.
had to cut a lot of this
It would
down.
just
I
be
think originally it
simple.
was like 8 minutes
That is
long,
why what I'm about to do is I have
and
to use
I didn't like it
6
really. There's a
different
lot
level
of things I
assets.
said,
It
and
has to be one
I wanted to
ground,
cut it. So actually,
one
like a
enemy,
month later after this, I went
one
and
just
redid another
random
intro
projectiles,
entirely.
fireballs,
But
spikes.
that one
I have to put
lasted
them.
maybe a week,
So I'm
and then
going to make
took it
a
out and just
blind
replaced it
level
back with this
in
one.
Mario Maker and
Like maybe
play
one
it
day I'll
and
re-edit
attempt
that
to
one
beat
because
it.
that one actually had some pretty interesting
It
stuff. It was
sounds
much longer.
very,
It was
very
like
easy,
6
but
minutes
I have a
originally,
very
and it's
small
like, no, this
feeling
is
that
too
this is
long.
going
Like
to
no one's
be
gonna want to
very
watch the
difficult.
video if it's like
So,
6 minutes of me talking.
I
Like
say, let's
at least with
begin.
this, like I'm not the biggest fan of this intro, but you know, at least
Okay,
it
so
gets
we're
right
at the
into it.
main
Like it's like
screen
3
now.
minutes, and I'm right
So
into
I
like the
am
game.
going to set the ground rules before
So
I get
it's
started.
much better
So,
than 6
yes,
minutes of that and
I
an
am going to be
intro
blindfolded.
and
I
explaining
have
the challenge. Like it was like 4
this
minutes of just talking about
sweater
like
over here. I'm just gonna
what
put
the
it
Impractical Gamer is.
over
Then
my
like the
head,
rest is just talking
and
about the challenge
I will not be able to see anything.
and how.
Just remember
Oh yeah,
this one.
watch out! There's gonna
I
be
can't
some.
So right now, how I'm going to do it is
My
I'm
hair's gonna
going
be
to
different, so watch out. I actually
erase the
did say I
level
was
right
like,
now.
my hair's different.
gonna
This
put the
was recorded a
blindfold
month
on,
ago, and I was like, no,
and
this is not
how
gonna
it's
work.
gonna work is that I
Like-
have to just place stuff wherever, and I guess I will make it max here, just so I know.
So getting to this first one,
So-
like I did say, I wanted to start off with something a little on the lighter side, and I probably could have gone much
Start.
harder. Like after
And let's
recording it,
actually-
oh sorry, this was
actually
in the way I didn't notice it. After recording it, like I had like all these other ideas I could have added to it. Like, oh man, I could have done this and I could have done this, but it's too late now. I can't do it. But it was pretty much that. It would be okay. I beat the level without the blindfold. How far can I get with the blindfold on? And I should probably put quotes in between those blindfold
Here we
because
go.
this is not
I
a blindfold. It's
cannot
just a sweatshirt I put
anything.
on. As you can see, I did not plan this out entirely. I should have actually got like an official blindfold and something. All I did was just put the sweatshirt over my head, which looks pretty dumb as you can see in that thumbnail. So one thing about this that I almost did, and I talked to somebody about it
what I'm
beforehand,
thinking.
I at first was going to edit this down, the part of me actually making the stage. I was going to edit it down a bit, but then I thought about, because I knew eventually at some point somebody's gonna say, hey, did you take the blindfold off? Did you cheat? Did you do something? Like, so just like to drop that comment entirely, I decided to just leave in the footage as is, because I know at some point, every time something like this happens, people always have to question, like, oh, can you see? Did you do that? Like, I probably should have just turned, like, entirely around. I should have just, like, turned my back to the screen and that, but I'm not, I can't see anything with that thing on. Like, all I'm pretty much doing is just randomly clicking on the gamepad. I'm just using a frame of reference of where things are. Like, I know the top is the toolbar for items, but like I can't remember like where ground is and what I'm clicking. It's actually something funny. I said I cut it out, but there's this thing I said where I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be using audio cues to figure out what I'm actually picking, and those audio cues did not work. I did not hear a single thing. Even though I had like an earbud in, I couldn't make out like anything that was I was pitting down.
I don't know what I'm picking.
This part just works perfectly. Like I couldn't have timed this better.
Maybe something good.
I'm still surprised how like well I like managed to place these. Like they kind of have this weird spacing thing going on where it just kind of looks like intentional.
Wait. Oh. Okay. Looking at a ground.
This actually could have been much worse. Like it sucks I had to do a second attempt. I had to go back and actually finish the level because it was impossible. But I was actually expecting it to be much worse. Like I wasn't expecting to even be able to finish the level at all. Because I thought at first like, oh, it's gonna be a bunch of Bowser. It's gonna be a bunch of just different stuff, but it didn't turn out doing that. So
I don't know if this level's
fine.
Beatable. I don't know what I'm putting down.
I got really lucky that I had those, because if I didn't, some of those jumps would be impossible. You know, it's funny. All I had to do was keep going left. If I had to keep going right. If I just kept going right, then I could have got it. But I switched to the fire flower, and that's what screwed it up.
Did I just hit what I think I hit? How do I get out?
And this I actually was trying to get out, but the problem is I couldn't tell like where the OK was because it's so close to that jaguar on the bottom. So I kept hitting that. When I finally hit it, I ended up hitting it slow, but that one actually worked out well. I think this level's better. It's like an auto scroller. And speaking of this level, I was gonna bring this up later, but I guess I'll bring it up now because it's pretty bad on my part. So like I said, I filmed this back in November and I finished it in May. So what I did was after I finished this part, I don't like that reaction. I shouldn't have done that. But when I filmed it back in November, what I did after I finished and beat the level, spoilers if you haven't seen the actual video yet, I do beat the level. I actually uploaded it to Mario Maker servers. I named it the Impractical Gamer Episode 1. I actually included it in this part, but what happened was a few months later, because I thought I was going to have it up and edited pretty fast, the level got taken down on Mario Maker servers. Nobody played it at all, and
I don't know if it's possible
at a certain point in their servers, if you just do not play a level, they take it down from the servers. So
here we go.
Level's gone from Mario Maker servers, and I can't upload it again. I'd have to redo the level entirely, like go through the video and intentionally put every single thing back, which I can't do. So sadly,
oh man,
you can't play this level again. And that's really my fault. I really wish I could get it, because actually it was a pretty fun level going back and playing it.
Nice start. You know what? This actually is a pretty cool like little design.
I don't know why I keep going for that jump up there. It's really interesting. I should have realized, like, hey, stop going for that jump.
There has to be a way.
Yeah, I'm really dumb going for that. Like,
if not,
I don't know why. Like, it was late at night when I recorded it, but like, I shouldn't have been like in this I should have been much better at this. Like, this makes it look like I'm really bad Mario. Like, I'm really bad at Mario games.
That looks to be the strategy. So I'm just going to have to take the damage abuse and go underneath.
I actually don't have to take that damage abuse. I guess I'm not just dead air. I'm actually watching this. I'm like, terrible commentary, buddy. Like, you're just
Why is this
listening and
level
watching
kinda
your
better than
video.
some of the other ones I've
But
done? This
one
level,
thing
where I was
else I'd say
blindfolded,
is that
has better
the issue, I
level
think the biggest
design
issue
than
with what
the
took this
levels I
so
can see.
long, besides like
I don't know.
life and school getting in the way,
I don't know if I should be
is I really
insulted
wanted to
or
condense
what.
this a lot. Like,
But-
this was about maybe an hour and 45 minutes of stuff. Like, if I count and go back through the raw gameplay, not
Look at
including
this jump right here.
recording the intro, which there were many takes of that. It was like an hour 45 of cutting it, and I really wanted to cut it down like a lot. And that's really what took me like the time, is picking like, okay, what stays, what goes, and just what to do with it. Like, I really didn't have like a direction
Oh wow!
for
You
this.
actually can make.
I know
that
definitely
jump.
next time it's gonna be much faster, because now at least I know what to do and how I'm probably gonna go edit it. Okay, this is something I probably should have
Jump.
fixed. I should have went back and took out some of these
This little sync test. Because
some of these deaths. Oh, this thing. I actually got lucky. This could have actually been one of the really long ones. No, I'm wearing those glasses. Like, you're never gonna see me wear them again in the video. The only reason I had the glasses on is because I needed to check the camera to make sure it's in focus. I made a mistake before, and not having my glasses, that I'll end up like doing
I
a
will
shot and
complete
everything's
this
good, and then all of a sudden, oh,
The
it's
best
out
of
of
my
focus.
if I can
I decided to leave
oh
it
my
on,
God.
which I
I
should
haven't
just
seen the end, so
just
either I
left,
can beat
but
it or I can't.
you ain't seen those glasses again.
This is
I forgot
actually
what the
this is a
total was. I actually,
weirdly
before I
good
cut
level.
everything,
It
I
has some
remember at one
weird
point I counted
design,
all the
but
depths.
it's
I was
good
going
and
to include
bad
this
at
in the
the
video, but
exact
I
same time.
decided
It's
not
weird.
to really. Just because it was.
I was expecting just
If I
thousands
included
falling
all of
from the
them, then
sky.
it makes the video even
But,
longer
like,
and would have taken
I
me
got this
much longer to
perfect match, like,
get through.
I am
like-
really excited to go back and watch this because
Maybe in some other
I
future
need to
episodes,
see,
it includes
how
like
this
deaths or
went,
something.
because
Maybe
I
I'll
can't
include like a
believe I
little
made this
counter.
without looking. This is a bit too good for me.
The IDC, the Impractical Death Count or something. I don't know.
Fuck.
Hey, I swore. I actually was supposed to censor that out, and I got
Like,
lazy.
it's kinda like, God damn it.
I was like, you know, maybe I should censor that out, but I was like, ah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is when I get all sad.
No, no! It's impossible to beat. It's impossible.
Man, this is really orange and yellow. The reason why is really just that
So this is a
the
tier
lighting I
number
use.
2
Oh
for
God, look how
blind
bright it
fire.
is.
Now I had to go back and add.
Oh,
some
man, I
more
didn't
stuff.
fix that.
I don't know if it's possible, but we're gonna try and see. If not,
Whoa, I
then,
think
of
something
course,
went
that means
wrong
that
in
we
my
have to do
render.
the
It's
process of
too
having to
late
go
now.
back and hope I created
But
him.
to explain that orange
Here all
hue
night trying to make
and
this
some other
level.
things too, like the sound. The orange hue is that I had another light in my room, because if I just recorded this in my room with my lights as they are, it would look even worse than it does. So I'm gonna hopefully try, if I do record, it's gonna be in daytime so I can actually
At
get
that point,
some
you
good light
know
in.
you're
It won't
dying a
look
lot 'cause you start
look like
getting really
garbage.
good at the
but I had this yellow bulb, and it just makes me look shiny and like an Oompa Loompa. It gives me this really orange hue. Like this is after color correction too. Like this is after some work too. Because if you look at the original version, it was much worse. Like that wall was ridiculous.
I couldn't even imagine this.
And as far as sound, the issue with this one is like you hear a lot of static at some points. That is coming from my microphone because for some reason I decided to use my little lapel mic, and I don't know what settings I had in my camera if the mic was busted, but it included a lot of static in the recording. So a lot of this stuff is just messed up. Now this entire recording I had to go do some extensive audio editing just to fix that. Oh yeah, and I should explain this because I cut a big portion out. So I actually did go back and edit this level again, and I went and I blindfolded myself again to do this, but I cut it out because it was too long and it didn't flow right. We didn't miss much. All it was I went and put the blindfold on, went to the section, put some blocks, and then that's it. So you didn't really miss much. Nothing like of importance happened.
This is it.
So yes, I still was blindfolded. If you want a game to play at home, like look at my face sometimes. I'm like doing a serious jump. Like I get really tense and I get this really serious face. Like I look pretty ridiculous sometimes. Like some games I look like I'm having fun playing, and some games I just look like I'm struggling. Oh, this is my part right here.
I'm dead inside.
I have to give a shout out to a friend of mine who gave me the idea. I showed him an early version of this, and he was like, I like that part with the face, but you should probably zoom in there, and it works perfectly when you do that slow zoom in. I was going to add some music to it, but I decided not to. Would have just ruined it.
If anybody out there wants to try this themselves, be my guest. I would love to see like a community of levels made into
This part I still do agree with. If people go out and want to try this, go ahead. It definitely changes things up when you're blind. Like if you remember like where your stuff is, it's probably good. But
I'd love to see what
like making some blind levels, you can make some pretty interesting stuff. Like I did actually go back like after this and try it again. It didn't turn out as good as this, but it still was a pretty weird level.
Don't want to try it while recording. Just do it for fun. Like just make.
It's a bunch of P blocks.
See what levels you can make without not being able to see any reference points at all.
I believe this is the run when I actually beat it.
Okay, so we're at the section again.
And what else did I have to say? The thing is, like before, I was like, oh man, I got a lot of things to talk about. Now I'm like, oh man, I really don't have too much. I condensed it pretty well. Talked about what took so long, and yeah, I already talked about everything. I almost didn't make that jump too. I cut it pretty close in that one. Well, I should start wrapping up real soon because I'm about to finish. This video's about to end really soon.
I think this is it.
I guess as like the final close to say, this was a pretty fun video to make.
Yep.
It sadly took way too long to edit, and I messed things up because now you can't really play the level online. But
That's how it's done.
hopefully in the future, if I do something like this again, I can add some interactivity to it.
So that is going to conclude the.
I do know for the next episode and for any further episodes I do, because now that I have this down, it's going to be a consistent stream of these videos coming out. And I do have a bunch of ideas for this, so it should go on for a bit.
I did not expect.
I do want to say one thing. No orange
So,
hue.
that is
That's
going
gonna
to
be
be it
gone.
from
Mic
me.
audio is gonna be fixed,
As
and a bunch of
always,
other things.
I am John.
If you've
I will
stuck
see
through
you
to this,
next
thank
time.
you for listening to
On.
this commentary. It probably was not very interesting at all, but hopefully it gave you some insight and some things and why this took so long. Oh, wow, look, a little Inception thing there. I can click on the episode 1 commentary again. What happens if you click on it? That little deja vu thing. I just keep playing over and over again. But that's going to be it for this commentary. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.